Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, Never Ever Met's Season 2, Episode 2 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Hey, shout out to everybody there early, like YouTube member Karen. Hey, guys.
Yo, Karen.
E-Love says, I'm so ready for this review. That means hopefully you did the homework and watched the episode, too, because there's so much to cover in this one, man. Seriously. You know, this is going to be a long show because your delay is wild.
My delay is wild?
Yeah. there's a delay. Toya says, you get a newborn. You get a newborn.
Yeah. Everybody having babies.
YouTube member Pink Butterfly says, didn't watch, but waiting for the review. Love it. Sean says, Terrell, you got a baby?
Nope. Nope. And nope.
Why not? Everybody got one on the show.
Nope. That's why I wouldn't make it. Oh, wait, you're single, no kids? Okay, well, sorry. You haven't been married. No, just, okay. Yeah, no, you're not going to work out here.
Well, look, 2 episodes in. Before we get into the details of the episode, how you feeling 2 episodes in?
Same as I felt episode 1. I feel like we're just being lied to. I don't believe these storylines that are coming out. It's just, if the storylines are true, then we have some really awful people on this show. If the storylines are true, that's how I feel about it. I feel like I'm just getting lied to.
I will say this. Having worked on a show where you're like, there's no way anybody's going to believe this. And then somebody calls up and goes, you know, I was just going through that. You're like, son of a... It's possible.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that I can't believe that these couples is not possible for these folks. I'm just not buying it. And if it is true, then these are some really messed up individuals.
Lisa says, I might be pregnant. Let me check. There was Sean going, it ain't mine. I think she knows that.
Your sperm ain't that potent. She don't even live in Dallas.
But I figured in the live chat, it could travel through the live chat.
Like a computer virus. Just
Damn. Did you just call your friend a computer virus?
No, I said like a computer virus.
Just checking. Just checking. All right, let's get to it, man, because this episode picked up where episode 1 ended with these two right here, Charlie and Jared. Because remember, at the end of it, he's like, you know, I knew something was going on, but why didn't you say anything? Well, that's because I got my own ish going on. And then he reveals his own ish.
Yeah, so he already had a kid, which she knew about, and he lets her know that he has a 6-month-old. And what tripped me out was her reactions. She was thinking, what? Why would you have not told me this? It's like, if that's not the pot, calling the kettle. A Negro.
Or zebra. You know, I mean, seriously, how does she even act surprised, right? When she's been lying to him, 6-month-old that he's been lying about. So 6 months plus the 9 months before that. We don't even give him the 9 months. He didn't know till about the 3rd month anyway, right?
Right.
Let's be real. But we'll give the 9. So 15 months and you're mad. When you've been lying to this man for 4 years about 75% of your kids.
75%, 100%. What blows my mind, this is why I don't believe their storyline. I don't believe that they didn't know any of this about each other. So you're telling me that y'all been talking 4.5 years. You love each other. You're my best friend. And you can't be honest about having kids. Right. My question is, are you ashamed of having your kids? Which, if that's the case, you're still wrong. You're still a bad person for coming out here and acting like you don't have these children. Yeah. And my question is, do y'all even have custody of these kids? Because how is it that all this run around is happening, but no one knows?
That's what Monica's asking. He could hide his baby, but how could she? Because, you know, kids, you don't know, but kids, you don't know how to be quiet when you're on the phone, and they don't care about your privacy. If my phone goes off, my daughter, who is that, Daddy? Who's that calling you? So
my mom didn't play that, so I was quiet when she was on the phone.
Well, also you couldn't look in the phone like that at the time.
True. It was a rotary phone in the kitchen.
Yeah, with a long cord. So you could walk to the dining room so nobody can hear you in the kitchen. Yeah. Classy B says, my mom taught me you shouldn't leave the house for the first 6 weeks, but you're on a dating show.
Yeah.
Again, producers heard she was 8 months pregnant, went, sign up. Can we start the filming today? And they did.
Right.
They waited, and here we go. So she's there. Toya says, hey, usually it's men who lie about the amount of kids they have, definitely. Because that's wild. Now,
it is wild, but I think, ladies, if a man lies to you about the number of kids he has, do you still keep dating him after you find out it's a lie?
Yeah.
That's my issue is once I find out that you lied about having kids, I can't mess with you at all.
Yeah. Exactly. What else are you lying about? I can't believe anything you say, right? But she's like, well, do you think less of me because of my kids? No, I think less of you because you're lying.
I think well, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I tried to help you out by giving the answer first. I tried to help you out. Woosah.
My inappropriate Tourette's just wants to go off and say something right now, but I'm not going to. Yeah.
Well, look, the next morning they agree to make it work and let the rest of the cast know about their situation, right? Because Charlie's finding it hard to not talk about her kids.
It's hard to keep it with the lie in front of all these strangers. Hey, I'll be right back, just so she can go pump and act like nothing's going on.
She didn't have a problem lying to this man for 4 years.
Right. What's 3 more weeks? These people you just met. What's 3 more weeks?
Sly says, YouTube member Sly says, Yanni, they are lying. They were not really together. Well, okay, to be fair, because they were, 4.5 years, right? And we said this about the very first season of the show. Some of these people say, oh, we've been together for this long, but it's been off and on because they haven't been in the same place. They may have been talking for that length of time, but they weren't together. They weren't in committed relationships, right?
Right.
Now the 2-3 months and the 5 months, maybe. But the rest of them? And do you believe 5 months long distance, y'all just only seen each other?
I wouldn't do that. But I give the people that are less than a year a pass.
Yeah.
I give them a pass. Charlie and Jared, I don't give a pass. Because she's 34, so that means she had a kid at 22.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along, she had the 7 and 5-year-old and the 1-month-old. And you've heard me talk about this before on previous shows. You get one pass on the kids. It's like, oops, it happened. But after you've had that first one, you know how it works.
Yeah.
Like, you know what the results could be if you keep doing this. And it's just bad. It's just bad. And then same for Jared. He's not off the hook either.
She may have that usher, man. That's all it is.
She what?
She may have that usher.
What's the usher?
Chocolate Suda says she's the girl version of Naeem. And Sean, we kind of covered this last week, right? Said they went to school together, so how they've never met. Well, because she was a senior, he was a sophomore. Senior women don't give a damn about underclassmen. At least that's how it was at my high school.
I think she cares about the cute black ones.
Shout out to Dr. Ivy Pearl, YouTube member says, I'm not following this show. I just like to listen to y'all to have a good, hearty laugh sometimes. I like that. She made sure she added that sometimes. Now, by the way, Lady J says the fact that she's away from a newborn, mind-boggling to me. Does she take care of the other three? Where are they at? I got questions. We all have questions, Lady J. I promise you. Because
we all have questions.
You know what? Grandparents are still taking care of kids these days.
Possible. It's possible. And to me, it doesn't matter who takes care of him. That's not my business.
Right.
My issue with her is, how do you not tell this man that you have all these children?
Yes.
And then you're coming to meet these people as you get to the show in episode 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I just have a 12-year-old daughter. That's it.
Yeah.
No, just be honest.
And we'll get to that dinner in a few, but first, let's get to this other couple here, Alicia and Irvin, because tell me if you pick up on this early in this episode. But Alicia, we picked up on it in episode 1 too, but it continues. She's being very standoffish with Irvin, right? Or am I just making this up?
No, I think you're 100% right. And I think that there's something when it comes to physical touch and intimacy that's a challenge for her. And she just needs to be honest with him and say what it is. Because if they've been talking for 5 months, I would think that me putting my hands on your arms or trying to kiss you wouldn't be a surprise.
Right.
And it's not working for Irvin.
It's not. She don't like that man. How about that? And it's pretty obvious, but then she gives an explanation for the way she's been acting, right? She says, the unfortunate thing is, I question if she's using her diagnosis as an excuse not to open up to Irvin. Am I wrong for questioning that?
You're not wrong for questioning, because we just got done questioning babies, right? So to me, question anything on this show. So
we question the show, damn it.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. I would hope that that's not what she would do, because I think for her to share her condition on live TV with the world, I think takes bravery. Yeah. And I'm hoping that someone else, if they're going through that same thing, maybe they can relate or inspire someone folks. So I would hope that she's not using this as a way to just reject Irvin, instead of just being honest with him, saying, I don't like you like that.
She says, she wants to get to know him. And remember, she said this from the very beginning. Well, I'm using this to see if I like him or not, right? Remember, she said that when she was first walking in. She says physical will muddy the waters. But to me, it feels like she's just got negative. She wants negative physical with him at all, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Because holding hands.
Yes.
A peck. He said he's not trying to have sex. Mm-hmm. He just wants something, some type of physical reassurance that she likes him, and she's not giving it.
Yeah. Andrew says, if I'm talking to you for 5 months, the first thing I assume we would both want is to at least hold each other while we connect in person. Yes, that physical touch. Are there sparks flying? Or is that just static electricity? Is there something there? I mean, she's real quick. Like, we're not sleeping in the same bed. He's like, damn, I'm just laying here talking to you. But okay. Yeah. By the way, Monica does have a good point. Chemistry online doesn't mean chemistry in person. There can be awkward moments, but there are ways to get past it. And we'll see that because one of the things I did notice is, and we'll get to it in a little bit as well, and we see it in this next activity, the group activity, is Clavassier and Tatiana, because I feel like we did a jump in time, right? Because even as you see them walking out you see them in the background hugging, and I think I even saw them, a kiss being shared. I'm like, wait a minute. That's not what we saw episode 1. Did they get a bad edit? Because they seem good this time, especially as they're going out to the activity to meet Taronda, and everybody's just happy-go-lucky.
I saw the same thing. I thought, okay, well, maybe some things have happened that wasn't on camera. Right. That they feel they're clicking, and a little bond is happening.
Which is good, because, but it was not looking good for you last week, brother. They get up there to Taronda, and Taronda's like, hey, the boom boom room is open, a.k.a. the intimacy suite, right? So now you don't have to do it in the shower, Cinco and Jay.
So I said, is that why all those towels were wet? Like, don't touch them towels.
What the hell did they do in there with? What the hell did they do with all them towels?
Yeah.
But find out the activity they're going to do. Get into some swimwear. Come back out. No pool date. This is actually body painting. What'd you think of this?
I thought it was an interesting date. I think for a lot of these folks, they just met each other in person day before, and now they're about to be in front of each other, all but, hardly clothes on to paint on each other. Depending on how confident you are in your physical appearance, this could be great. If you have a lot of insecurities about your physical appearance, this would have to have been awful.
Hey, I like it when they get me. Dang, ain't no way I put on this much fat that fast. Who was that?
You knew
Brandon
you
that
did.
said that? He was
You
like,
knew you did.
like,
Don't
what
act
the hell
surprised.
happened? I ain't go to the gym one day and all of this. So from the activity, the activity was they had to, one's got to be blindfolded and the other one does the body painting, but has to ask, and you can paint anywhere, but you have to ask permission.
Well, you can do the blindfold or no blindfold. It wasn't. You didn't have to be blindfolded.
So, but okay, that's right. Most of them chose to. It was Ty who didn't, right? So, what'd you think of this though? Any of these artistic expressions stand out to you?
A few of them did. You know, if I think about first Charlie and Jared, she said that she has his name tattooed on her, so she wanted to write her name on him. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, you tattooed this dude's name on you and still didn't tell him about all them kids. Doesn't make sense.
Meanwhile, somebody else, baby daddy number 2304, was like, "Who's Jared?"
She's the jewelry store. I'm a big fan. In case you want to get me a ring, go to Jared.
While you're back there, it just tells you where to go.
Yeah. You can get to see the clarity and cut I want if you lift up my right leg. I really liked Jay and Cinco painting with each other because they both used images that represented each person and kind of who they are, their family, their kids, what they want. It's like they're really in tune with who they are. So I thought out of all of them, they had the best paint date. They
did, but didn't you like that Jared answered some questions for us by painting Charlie as a zebra and letting us know she's black and white?
I don't see how that helps anything. I don't know what that does. It's like, great, she's mixed, black and white. That's awesome, great for her.
What'd you think of Brandon? Because he said he felt submissive, and he liked that.
I thought it was cool because real talk, some guys like being a little submissive sometimes. You're in a position of power, you're making decisions all day. Sometimes it's nice just to free up that control, let someone else take charge. It's not saying he wanted to get spanked and whipped by her, but he just loved the fact that he wasn't in control of the whole process. And with the blindfold, he couldn't see it. I respect that.
Which is very different from what Chris got. Because he got a taste of Alexis's controlling nature. She refused to ask for permission at all. Did whatever she wanted. Didn't care.
She is too old to be acting this way. So for her to mark her territory, as she said, and then to put her hands in the crotch hand shot, you're too old for that. I feel like she's someone, the more I watch Alexis, I see why she's single.
Yeah.
And I see what her issue is. And if she keeps dating younger men, she's probably thinking to myself, I'm 47, I'm going to get older. So how do you make sure this person likes me enough and is not going to look for something better because I'm aging badly, right?
What? She also said, remember, she said, men my age can't keep up. No, they just don't want to deal with this kind of nonsense.
Because don't want to deal with that attitude.
Even the handprints, everybody laughed about the handprints, but let's be fair here, right? If the roles were reversed and he did that, he'd get roasted for not asking permission and just grabbing her all over and, this is mine, so I'm writing my name all over her chest.
Right.
Like, this is nuts. Thank you, Lady J. Alexis was out of line. Roles reversed, all hell would have broken loose. Exactly.
Great.
Tatiana and Clavassier, they were in sync here too.
They were.
The growth on his on him.
Yep. I think they were. And I think they did a great job. I think they seemed really into each other, during that session. So it was kind of an intimate deal. It wasn't so much funny and ticklish and giddy. They were really connecting during that.
What about Alicia and Irvin? Because this was also pretty interesting when she did the painting on Irvin. Alicia did the painting on Irving. The king and she went very, very Afrocentric initially, right?
Right. She did. She went all Grand Rising on it, and that's fine.
Which is the first sign. Grand Rising King. Right.
Yeah, she went all Grand Rising on him. So I thought theirs was good and interesting because I know she seems to have this issue with physical touch and physical intimacy. I thought it was great exercise for them. What I really like most about this is Irvin caught himself before he almost spilled the beans and told everybody her business. And the fact that she was like,
Yeah.
and he recognized, I better not.
Yeah.
Good, because not all dudes have that control.
Right, very true. Because they need to know. You know, so he didn't, because she wasn't ready to share her situation with the group. She shared it with the world,
Right.
and she at least gave him props after that for recognizing that she wasn't ready and respecting it, like you said, right?
Right.
And then clock struck 12, and she turned back to Alicia when they got back in the house.
Yeah. They get in the house. What was the first thing was when when Ty and Brittany were cooking?
Yeah, so Ty and Brittany over there making dinner, right? Which they're in the kitchen, they're working together. I mean, even who was it that said? Jared was like, "Yo, man, you two working together in the kitchen. I love this, right?"
That was Clavassier.
Oh, Clavassier said it. That's right.
Yeah.
So loved, and I agree. The way they were moving in that kitchen together, she's following his lead because he's like, "Okay, I'm going to do this. Help me here. Let's do this." Great. And then in comes Alicia.
Yeah, because she's asking valid questions because she has a sensitive diet and some restrictions.
Right.
So she's saying, "Do y'all have vegan butter?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "No, we're not doing that. This is how I'm making it." And then she even tells Brittany, "Well, what if you put some veggies to the side and just cook that with a little bit of oil?" Brittany was like, "Bet, I got that." And then she goes, "But not too much oil." But and then start getting really bossy with it.
Yeah.
And I don't blame Ty's reaction at all. Because I would have felt the exact same way. If you have a diet restriction, you got some things, and production didn't account for that when they bought all the groceries, that's not Ty and Brittany's fault. You got to figure out and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make this. I'm going to do a PB&J, and I'm good. Great.
Mm-hmm. Well, to what you're saying, it's not because she even says, "Hey, well, I can cook my own food. I don't even have to sit at the table." I was like, "Oh, Jesus!"
To sit with any y'all. You take my Barbies and go to my house.
Classy B says, "Can we talk about how good the green beans looked?" You can.
They did.
Okay.
They did look good. And I'm curious about that catfish because that looked good too. But did you hear when he was saying no? And to me, he wasn't yelling at all. But she says, "Well, why are you yelling at me?"
I was about to ask you, was he yelling like she said?
No, I don't think he was, because the way he talked was how he didn't talk to everybody that came in the kitchen,
Right.
and started talking to him. Mm-hmm. Even when they first came, like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, is it ready yet?" And he's like, "No, Mom, Dad says stay out the kitchen."
Mom, Dad, said, "Get your ass out the kitchen, sit down, and wait till I call you."
I don't think he was yelling at all, but the way that she made that sound, and then the way she walked off to Irvin, Ty was yelling, screaming at me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, okay, let's deal with that real quick. Because Irvin hears the story and goes, I know who I'm dealing with here. Because first he laughed in her face and then just says, like, I know who I'm dealing with. Whatever. Yeah. I know he didn't. Well, a man's kitchen is a sacred place. It's like when he goes into the bathroom with a magazine on his phone.
Yeah.
Don't interrupt.
I think Irvin knew. He understood what was happening. He said, "You know what? Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Because what was she expect him to do? Go over there and go confront Ty over because of her words? No. So I think Irvin handled that really well. But yes, the way that she reacted and responded to all that made me really start to question her a bit.
Lady J says, "Is it me or does Alicia give white Karen vibes?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she gets, no, I would, you know what? Here's what I would say. She gives off princess vibes. Princess vibes being maybe only child, all the attention's on her. It's about what she wants. It's where she wants to go, what she wants to do. Mm-hmm. It's all about her.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I get from her, is that people around her have treated her like she's the center of attention.
Yeah. Let's go back just a little bit, because there's a moment there that I thought that was great. When, especially as we talk about the cooking couple, right? Which is going to be interesting to see when everybody else gets to cook. I can't wait till Alicia has to cook, because she's probably going to make rabbit food for everybody. But I liked how Brittany was with Ty when Alicia walked out of the kitchen, because after he told her, "GTFO, my kitchen," right? Mm-hmm. In a kind way, respectful. She said, "Hey, I get it, but just remember, that's somebody else's woman you're talking to." I like the way because she
I
was
respect
so
that.
calm. She was such a calming voice. She didn't allow him to and it's not like he was pissed off, but he was a little agitated. And she just calmed him right back down and just remember, that's somebody else's woman you're talking to.
I respect how she handled that because she didn't do it in front of Alicia.
That part.
She didn't do it in front of anyone else.
That part.
Because I'm like, if I'm raging, you have my back. And then we get in the car and be like, Terrell, you were wrong back there.
Yeah.
You're a problem. But she had his back, which I totally respect how Brittany handled that.
Hey, she had his back in more ways than one because yes, you are supposed to tell me when I'm wrong. But you wait till everybody else is gone, okay? Don't you give that person this power by choosing their side. Don't you do that. Because now you just cause a problem. So she did it the right way. So kudos. Give her props for that.
100%.
By the way, Miss Wilson said Alicia's probably going to be gone before she gets to cook. Probably. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that.
We'll see. Season 1, we had a couple exit early.
Yeah.
So 2 couples exit early, actually. So let's see
Anything's
what happens.
possible. Alexis and Chris. Alexis is telling, we see Alexis sitting in the living room with Charlie and Jared, telling them how she felt disconnected from Chris during the body painting. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with this picture?
She's not telling that to Chris. They've been talking for a year. Why are you not bringing that to your man first before you start telling other people?
Yeah.
That would bother me. Like, don't talk bad about me and you not told me first.
But you know what's worse about it? He walks in the room happy-go-lucky. Hey, what's up, baby? And she's just mean mugging, looking to the room for that backup and just blindsides him, right?
With stank face.
Yes.
She's sitting there and again, she's too old to be doing this, and this is why she's
Apparently
single.
not.
What guy wants to be with somebody who's like that? Not anyone her age. No one her age is going to put up with that. So she goes for these younger ones, and they don't stick around. Why?
Now, your frat's calling it fake storyline.
Which one? All these storylines are fake. I'm sorry. We're going to make fun of it. But, Sean, which storyline?
I think he's talking about Alexis and Chris. Yeah, because he did mention that a little earlier in the chat, saying that it's kind of like, they're both looking for the come up in this sense. And the drama seems a little unnecessary, right?
Right.
But yeah.
It's like she's trying to create drama. Mm-hmm. Like everything is going well. So how do I make some noise and make an issue out of something?
Monica says Alexis didn't get the reaction she wanted. She thought Chris would like the way she was touching him. She just ignored the rules.
Right.
And didn't ask for permission at all. And just said, I like it my way, and this is what it's going to be.
Now, what I do wonder is, has Chris ever shared with her in their 1 year, finger quotes, Sean, because fake storyline, in their 1 year of talking, has he ever expressed his issue about people that try to control him? Because if he's talked to her about that and mentioned that before and she still keeps doing it, well, then that's a problem. But if she's never heard him say anything about that before at all, well, then that's, to me, Chris's fault, not hers.
So you mean the story, what he told to Jared later that night when they're sitting outside and he's kind of venting to him, telling him about the 9-step parents in his life and how that's childhood trauma being controlled. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, if he shared that with her before and she's still doing it, then she's wrong. But if he's never said it, you can't put her in mental jail for something you didn't tell her about. That's not fair.
Well, Life is Reality says Chris said he shared his trauma to her already.
Okay, well, if he did and she's still controlling, well.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. The thing that I didn't like about that conversation with Chris and Jared outside was when Jared tried to explain it off by, well, remember she has Jamaican parents. Stop it. Stop it.
Agreed.
The most egregious thing of that, though, did Chris really say he forgot how many sides
a stop sign
has? Then said, so he drew a square. I don't know. I haven't been in class in a long time. But that looked like a rectangle to me.
Yeah. I mean, when I heard him say that, Like my eyes opened up. Like you telling me that you can't even like think of a stop sign and just count it.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagon. 8.
How do you know octagon?
How do you know octagon?
Well, apparently he doesn't. Hey, shout out to Sly A, YouTube member Sly A, who is still keeping track. Number 91, when Terrell is raging, don't interrupt. Have his back, but then tell him in the car afterwards.
Yes, quietly.
Adding to the list.
Let me know I'm wrong privately.
It's nobody's business.
Yeah. Privately. You do it publicly, now you're on the list. Now you're about to get it.
Now, Matt A says 9 stepfathers. Really? I don't think it was 9 stepfathers, step-parents, because I think Daddy had a couple in there too.
Right. And don't mean they got married. It's just maybe they lived together and this was, stepmama.
Yeah.
But I agree with him for not liking that control and not wanting anybody to control him anymore. I applaud him for it, but don't let Alexis treat you that way.
Right. Exactly. Nuts. Speaking of bad treatment, that'd be to everybody that's in here right now that hasn't hit that like button on the way in. Do us a favor, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And if you'd like to be like one of the regulars, be a member, support the channel, please do so. It's only, it's under $3 a month, and we really would appreciate you.
Yeah.
Next up, more bad treatment. Alicia and Irvin. These two, man. The next chapter in When Things Go Wrong is Irvin walking down the hall upstairs and hearing his woman doing yoga with another man.
Right.
After she brushed him off completely about doing yoga.
Yeah, because he's trying to get into her practice, her things. Hey, so I'd love to do yoga with you sometime. And she'd be, oh, yeah, it's nice. But then you choose to do it with this dude who you don't know. And you've been talking to Irvin now for 5 months. I don't blame him for being upset about that.
Okay, so that was my question. Was that an overreaction on his part?
No. I would call it out. I mean, I think if your partner does something that pisses you off, call it out.
Yeah.
And he wasn't crazy with it. He just said, it bothers me that you're doing this. I've been telling you I want to do yoga with you. Now you're doing it with this dude? Yeah. That to me, that says you're not interested in me at all.
Baby Doll says I was really inconsiderate of her. It was. It was inconsiderate, but she says she has no ill intentions, right? It was just, hey, well, I just didn't want to do it with you.
Yeah, but you see, like, that's how she does. Well, I didn't mean to do that. That's not what my intent was.
Right.
I didn't mean to come across like it's about oil and butter. She plays a role, I think, to where it's like, oh, I didn't mean to. You hurt the man's feelings, and he has a right to be upset about it.
Right. It's bad, but just when you thought it was bad, it gets a little worse because later that night, Irvin goes to talk to Alicia and get some things off his chest, right? Because he's just like, look, man, all right, look, let me just get this off my chest real quick. And I didn't like the way she tried to portray him in that moment, right? Because she's like, he doesn't look like someone who can control their anger. And I'm like, he's not even angry. He's upset. There's a difference between upset and angry. Yes.
Very much so. And then the fact that she says, well, I feel unsafe. And I don't blame him. As soon as she said the unsafe thing, I'd have walked away too. Because nothing positive comes from sticking around when women tells you, I don't feel safe with your tone. Okay, let me just walk away. There's nothing you're going to say that's going to change that.
That, to me, is the ultimate Karen move. If anything describes her as a Karen, it was that. I feel unsafe. He did the right thing. Get up, walk. No, where you going? Come back. No.
Yeah.
What we're not going to do is that.
Yep.
That's crazy. The fact that she did that. And I didn't even realize this because Baby Doll even pointed this out about the yoga thing. She was doing it in a private room with another man. Then yet, when he's upset and coming back to talk to her about it later, she's like, I can feel the heat coming off of him. And, I feel unsafe. He's not raised his voice.
Nope.
But, here's the thing. Because remember, she did that with Ty too, right? If you're just not saying what she wants to hear, now you're yelling. If you're saying something in a stern tone, you're yelling and talking down to her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, pretty privilege, right? Because if you're a beautiful woman, there's some guys who'll put up with that bullshit.
I mean, shit, all right.
Not Irvin.
Hey, Irvin's like, nah, I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't take this anymore, and I don't blame him. You did the right thing. Walk away. Monica said she was done too with her when she said she felt unsafe. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sanan's fan said her Karen came out. Bodine says, just waiting for Alicia to say, but I'm a really good person.
Like Alyssa, the names match, right? Alyssa, Alicia.
Something about them A's.
Yeah.
Lady J says, I'm with Irvin. I would have got the hell up immediately. Don't play with me like that. I would have gone home. She's dangerous. You got to be careful when people do that.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. When people say stuff like that, back away, remove yourself from the situation immediately. Immediately. Sly A says, she's problematic. You are in danger, man. Run. And he did, to his credit. That man identified. He felt a little unsafe and left.
Yeah. Right. That's the best thing he could have done in that situation. There's no point in continue to argue. Just walk away.
Exactly. Sean says she's probably never been told no. Oh, she has. She just knows how to throw a fit after that. That was next level. What was it? Terrible Two's temper tantrum.
I don't know. I wasn't terrible two. I don't know. I've never been around.
You're just terrible.
I've not been around 2-year-olds. So I could have been a terrible 2-year-old when I was 2, but I don't remember that, so it doesn't count.
Is that the way you do it? I don't remember.
That's how I do it in my head. Well, that was before I could remember things. That doesn't count. Can't hold me accountable for that.
So that big blow up happened after dinner, right? Mm-hmm. But during dinner, there was a look. You saw that look happen, and Jared reluctantly stands up. What do you think of his explanation before he reveals to the team? And he's like, well, I really feel it's our business, but geez, she wants to talk about it, so we do it.
She told me I was told to come up here. Tell you guys a couple things about our relationship that I want to keep private. But my partner feels it would benefit the both of us to share with you what we've been dealing with.
Yeah, they got a starting 5 and a 6 man.
I could have been sitting at that kitchen table because as soon as he would have said the 4 kids, I'd be like, damn!
It's Cinco's face when Charlie mentioned the missing kids. That was me when I first heard her say it in episode 1. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, which why I don't believe this is real. Because I can see production saying, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to tee it up like y'all didn't know each other had kids. Then, day 2, we're going to reveal it at the dinner. And that way we can get it out the way. Now y'all can move on and with your relationship. I just don't buy it at all.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Cinco's face took me out. Matt A says this did not need to be an announcement. And you agree with that too as well, right?
Could have been a mass text.
Or not even. The funniest thing was when congratulations. I mean, well, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you really say?
Yeah. We'd be like, just like I said, damn. Like that's what I would have said. I mean, how long y'all known each other? 4.5 years? Mm-hmm. And you're just now hearing about this?
Yo.
I don't buy it.
Jared said, and I believe it was it to us or was it to the whole table? I can't remember. But he said that Charlie said that he told Charlie there are not many things she could tell him to make him leave. I'm sorry. That should have been it.
That would have, yeah. I'd have been out.
Yeah. Cinco, not feeling it, obviously, as they're talking after dinner. It's Cinco, Jay, Kiki, and Brandon. And Cinco's like, he looks at Jay and says, well, if you, and then they cut him off. We know exactly what you meant, sir.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So if you had, hey, not talking about me right now. Keep that focus on Jared and Charlie.
We didn't notice. Jay said something in there, but she said, oh, yeah, a couple baby daddies. And I had to rewind it because I was like, did she give a number? And she said, no, couple. So my question is on that couple because it's 4 kids.
Yeah.
Is that 2? We know it's at least 2 Because 12 and the 1 month old ain't not the same, right? But is it 2, is it 3, or is it 4?
Okay.
Does anybody know?
If it was 1, doesn't matter. She lied about 3 of them.
Well, yeah, that's
So to me, it doesn't. The number of baby daddies is not my issue. I mean, that's a separate conversation.
Yeah.
I'm mainly focused on the fact that you lied about 3 children that you have. Something sounds very sus with that.
Sedan's fan says 3 tops. Chocolate Sooner says it's at least 3, which means 3 and a possible.
Right.
it's like a hand of spades.
Like a spades game. Got 3 and a possible 1. All right, we're gonna go board. That's what we're
doing. Sheesh. You think about this because Lady J has a great point here. The cost of living is higher than giraffe ears. 6 kids, 2 still drink milk and in diapers. That's a lot.
That is a lot. That's what I was saying. I went to the Never Met's homepage to see if they had bios. So I'm wondering what these people do for a living.
Right.
Because if you can't afford 6, date within your price range, right? You can't afford 6 people. And you're going to have to relocate one of y'all somewhere. It's not going to work. Just go ahead and just say, hey, this is great for the show. We're done.
Sean says, well, the consolation prize is they can get a lot of earned income credit come tax season.
I guess, but if you only make $25,000 a year.
So here's one that came in. Classy B says the 7 and 5-year-old is from the baby daddy who don't pay child support, so she left them out. So that goes to 3 tops, right? But that's not their fault. You can't leave them out.
Right. It's not the kid's fault. It's your fault that you picked someone bad.
Now, here's the real important question, because she lied about the kids. Like Bill Wilson said, will she be honest about the baby daddies?
At this point, I have no idea because, again, I still believe that Jared knew all this before the show, and this is just all a lie. Uh-huh. But, again, let's just say this is a true story on this reality show. I wouldn't believe anything that comes out of her mouth.
No. It's raining outside. No, it's not.
I'm looking out the window. Nope. Lying.
It's morning. Let me get my phone. I have this in 24-hour mode anyway.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can tell me. Nothing. Okay. Meanwhile, Kiki tells us, and not Brandon, that she has some secrets and it could break up her and Brandon. And the first thing I thought was, damn, does she have a kid too? And then I remembered. They gave us some snippets of what's coming up in the season.
Yeah, but what's going to be her secret? Hey, I'm an alcoholic.
No, that's not a secret. He knows that.
Right. Like, what's going to be the secret?
She's living with somebody still. Living with her ex still. They gave that away after episode 1. She's living with an ex, right? And it's and we'll approach that when we get to it. I'm not even going to ask you how you'd feel about that now, because different scenarios, and maybe that's why they hadn't visited each other before. Yeah. All right. Next one, because that was a whole lot. Tatiana and Clavassier. They're headed to the boom boom room, and you're like, man, this is a hell of a turnaround from episode 1. Yeah, He just tried to get a kiss with some grapes and some wine and couldn't get nothing.
Right, but now we're going to the boom boom, huh? Okay. I'm sorry, the intimacy suite.
Sure, okay.
And fair enough, because she wanted to have some intimacy, but not sex. Just wanted to be one-on-one. Yeah. So it was the intimacy suite, not the boom boom room.
Well, to be fair, that's why they call it intimacy suite. It just means being there, not really having, and that's just about sex. Just you need some alone time, right? I will say, not knowing, and some of the horror stories I've heard from some of these shows, if you ain't the first person in there, you don't want to go in after.
No. I don't think Owen has a cleaning crew that comes and takes care of that after each shift.
So they did the right thing. They went in there early. They went in there early, and then Clay got the worst massage we've ever seen. That's that freshman year in college massage.
Yeah, but her hands are too small. He's too thick for her to really get a good deep tissue massage. So he was just happy to have her hands on him.
Well, yeah.
That's it. I don't blame him for that. That's fine.
Of course, they have to talk about Charlie and Jared in this moment, right? Now, Tatiana asked a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, if something like this would have happened, would you tell me? And Clay knows she's got long nails. She's sitting on his back. Let me be political with this answer.
He said, I think I would. I would just, with the right timing, though. What?
Well, yeah.
I was waiting for Tatiana to be like, excuse me? Hey, turn around. Look me in the eye. Let's talk about this for a second.
Yo, that's the part right there, right? Like, I was shocked that she didn't try to make him, elaborate.
Right.
Exactly what do you mean, sir? Like, how long would it take?
Yeah.
Something.
And here's another couple, right? She's been honest about her kid.
Yes.
If it's true that Clevassier has a kid, a newborn that he's been lying about,
yeah,
and that's true that he lied about it, then he's a bad person just like Jared and Charlie. If that's the case. I know he commented in last week's episode, love to hear from you, Clay. Why you lying?
Because he told us, he didn't tell her that, he has a newborn and he hasn't told her yet and he's afraid to, right? And that makes me question then, why wait?
Right.
Because
get it over with now.
Unless he say, look, if I get the night shift, it's the reverse of what Miss Wilson is saying. She ain't leaving, so I'm good. It's like...
Wow.
Life is reality said he felt her talons and said, nope, I'm not answering this question. Yeah, because she had them long nails. Like I don't need these in my back at the moment. No, let me wait. But they're sitting there, they're laying in the bed, look all comfy, cuddling. It looks good. But it feels like there's going to be a problem later. Because when he finally does tell her, she's going to feel betrayed, right?
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah. Stop waiting. There's no perfect moment. Might as well just get it done.
Yeah.
Mayan says he has 6 kids. It's interesting because here's an interesting thing. Looked up Clevassier because he was in the chat last week, right? And he had done, I forget which magazine it was. I think it was Glamour magazine. How well do your exes know? He had 3 exes. This is like 4 or 5 years ago.
He had what?
They did a clip on like exes, like on the exes. How well do your exes know you? And so they had 3 different exes, and he'd ask the question, but not to them directly, obviously, and then they'd answer the question and see who knew him best. And then even it was really interesting, really interesting. So he's been out and about for a while, and obviously the moves work because see where he is on episode 2. The question is, when does he reveal the secret? Is this going to be episode 3 that we get him telling her finally?
I hope so, for his sake. I mean, again, if this storyline is true, for his sake, because if you keep dragging it out, she's going to remember that I gave you an opportunity to tell me when we were in the intimacy suite, and you chickened out at that point. So,
Life is Reality says Clay blew 2 opportunities to tell her about his secret child, and this was one of them. And here's the problem. See, the fact that we're even saying secret child is a problem. There should be no such thing.
Correct.
Even Carmelo Anthony didn't have a secret child. All right. Any thoughts for the rest of the season? You think this is, it looks like there's some more drama on the way, obviously. We've got enough already to start the season off, right?
It's going to be a lot of drama, but it's just, again, what I'm disappointed in are the lies.
Yeah.
And again, what really bothers me the most is a lot of times people have asked me when we started doing reality show recaps. I tell them what shows.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, y'all don't do any shows that have the black people in them." I'm like, well, good point. So we started doing some other ones. What I hate is this show, the caliber of the people they have on it is you don't see that on Married at First Sight. You don't see that on some of these other ones. Why do we have to have all these problems? I just don't like it.
To be fair, just to be fair here, you said as we were getting ready and we were teeing people up for Pop the Balloon Live, and you're like, well, it looks like the recruiting process has been better.
I thought that.
And then the show went live on Thursday.
That's awful. It was bad.
See what happens when you gentrify the show?
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. I thought that maybe they'd be better because it was on Netflix. No, it was bad. But you get my point. It's like, what shows beside, Ready to Love, Never Met, do you have people with 4 kids, multiple baby daddy mamas, and this is okay?
No, Ready to Love was 6 kids. Let's get it right.
Still.
And 3 baby mamas.
Yeah. It's just a mess.
By the way, Monica, I'm assuming you're talking about Pop the Balloon Live, right? Because, look, we thought about it, and even Andrew says, I thought the casting would be like other Netflix dating shows. And we thought so, too. But it seems like they decided to go, let's promote our other reality TV dating shows, right?
Yeah.
I hit Terrell, I'm like, yo, we're not doing this show. And I'm not the one that ever says that.
I know. I was surprised.
He was like, was it that bad? I'm like, you watch. You tell me.
It was awful. It was awful. I even said, you know what? Let me watch it myself. And I had like 10 minutes in. I'm like, yo, man, this is terrible.
It is bad. It is bad, right? It made me feel like Cali Creole says, if Yanni says to be fair again, I'm going to scream. Get off the fence. I'm not on the fence. That's a bad place to be. But to be fair. Don't tempt me with a good time. What are you doing?
Is to be fair, you're like David, to be honest with you? That's just what you say all the time?
It's not, because here's the thing, and obviously it's probably one of my crutches that I don't recognize. I do remember one time I said it here, which was when you're talking about the shows and the quality of shows. And I'm like, okay, to be fair.
Yeah.
Here it is. There's one that was terrible. As Chocolate Suna says, terrible.
Terrible. I'll take that. It doesn't bother me a bit.
But here's what we decided. Have you watched it yet? Somebody's Son.
I did.
Okay.
I did watch it, and actually, not bad.
Didn't I tell you? I
Yes.
told you. And if you guys haven't done this yet, go watch it. Somebody's Son. It's Owen is gonna owe us a check in a minute, but but watch this one because this one's good. It didn't feel like you were watching one of these shows that kind of took the let's go the Dollar General tree way.
I thought that's what it was gonna be, but actually, it's not.
Right.
It's not that bad. So there's some promise in this one. So it's good. I like the guy. The first guy they introduced to. I like him. I thought he was a cool dude.
Yeah. No, it was. I liked it. Tehu says it's meh, which wants us to go back and do a Pop the Balloon on YouTube. We did that before. And then here's the problem I have with the Pop the Balloon. When they started bringing on the content creators to act as daters, I was done. Love Arlette, love what she's doing, respect it, because Lord knows, them doing 1.5 million per episode is nuts. I love it. Wish her the best. I will watch it on my own. But we won't be reviewing it.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Mainly also because Terrell doesn't want to. I can't have him doing that all year. He will kill me. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and we'll do what, tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow night.
Somebody's Son tomorrow. That will be Tuesday night, 8, 7 Central. We'll be right back here. So do us a favor. Hit that like button if you're not subscribed. Please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts or some of the bullshit from the internet. We may talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.